It's me, good looking Lee. This is the Thank Me Later podcast. To my left, introduce yourself.
Hey, it's our co-host, Noel K.
What's up with you?
What's up? How was your holidays?
Great. I had beautiful holidays. Now I got to think about what I did. I don't think I did anything special this year. Yeah, I even took a nap on Christmas. That's never me.
Me too.
Yeah. What's up? Your holidays was all right?
My holiday was good, despite it being the holidays. It's normally a tough time around this year, but
Understood.
I had a nice Christmas.
That's
Very
good.
grateful.
That's beautiful. Watching my little sisters get everything they wanted kind of reminded me of how it was when I was little. Because now I have to pick a few things off of my list. They didn't pick not one thing off. Everything I got. So, speaking of the holidays, though, do you experience a little bit of it's not depression. You know how holiday depression is a thing? But, like, do holidays make you super reflective?
Yeah, like I was going through that this morning, just kind of reflecting on the entire year, just even like me being sick. I just feel like I'm getting like a lot of toxins out of my body, just kind of regrouping and getting ready for the new year. And I'm very excited for 2020. So, I mean, it has to all tie together.
I don't know why. Christmas morning, it was like, wow, this year really was this year, you know? And I was kind of stuck because I'm like, this don't usually happen till like New Year's Eve for me. But it happened on Christmas. I was super reflective, mad grateful. Maybe it's because the food
New
was
Year's
good.
Eve is party time.
I never
I
do
get
that.
that last good grub.
I never do
what?
that.
I am anticipating my mama's ribs, her chicken, her macaroni salad, and you know the black eyed peas. That's for good luck.
You know the only black eyed peas I've had recently is the group. I've been listening to their music. Anyhow, I've been listening to their music. That's just what that is. Anyhow, we got a guest with us today. Yes. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up? My name is Chole Hilliard. Wait, let me do it right. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
As you should.
Comedian and author Chole Hilliard.
Okay. It's amazing to have you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You look good. You look blessed.
You do.
Really appreciate
Beautiful,
it.
tall queen. When you walked in, I was like, yes to the tall queen.
Yeah, I'm a giant.
Yes, giving some height, some
Yeah.
power.
I was so tight. I'm like, damn, another
She's
one.
outnumbered today.
Yeah,
Usually, it's one of us. One of us always has an ally.
See, I forget how tall I am.
But she's kind of in the middle because she's from Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
from the
I'm
Bronx.
from Brooklyn. She's from the Bronx. You tall, I'm
Yeah,
not.
there you go.
See,
Yeah.
we both got one today.
we always
This is
have the
good.
Brooklynites in here, you know.
This is good.
Yeah, Brooklyn. I know. I love it when I'm like around people who I know are from here because it's not that many of us left.
Right.
Yeah.
They're moving us out. Absolutely.
There's not a lot of native New
Everywhere I
Yorkers
go
here.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, but they be going somewhere else and then coming back.
Facts.
Yeah.
True.
Very true.
Like
I've
somewhere
never-
else, right?
Yeah, I've never lived outside of New York City. I've always wanted to, but I've never
Me
had a
either.
chance.
Damn, now I feel away.
I did.
Right. Yeah, but
Multiple places.
Yeah, no, I went to school here. I went to like public school here, and then I went to college here.
Oh, wow.
And then when I graduated college, I was a journalist, and so it was like you got to be in New York for media. And then after 10 years of that, I got into comedy, and then it was like, well, you got to be in New York for comedy. So I'm still here.
Wow. I've literally lived in the same apartment my entire life. So kind of the same. I did move to Canton, New York for college. So I was there for 4 years. But yeah, New Yorker.
I never been in college too long. I never was at one school too long.
One college
yeah.
too long.
Yeah, I did like a tour. I had to make sure that college was for me.
Did you play basketball?
I played lacrosse.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I did a tour. Got kicked out a few times, you know.
You said you did a tour?
Yeah, absolutely.
But she
I
knows
did.
I got kicked out a few times just in there, slid in
Absolutely.
there.
I figured when you said I went to a lot of schools, you played a sport because that's an athlete. Like, I'm just gonna go somewhere else and get on a better team.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Or keep their career going.
Yeah, that was the thought too. And then I got kicked out, and then I was like, I don't actually want to be in school. I just want to play. It was just a lot. I've successfully been kicked out of every grade though. Well, every ending grade. So I've been kicked out of 8th, 12th, and college, and I
Wow.
still graduated. You know,
That's a blessing,
ain't it?
Well, you wasn't kicked out of 5th. Isn't that
Well,
like the
I
ending
went
grade
to,
to elementary?
Well, my school didn't have that. It went straight through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
See, it kind of stinks when they kick you right at the end. It's like, y'all could have did this already before.
Right.
Like,
and
why
y'all
you
wanted
wait?
to do it already, so
Yeah.
you should have done it. But they got me.
Well, you know, it's weird. It's like when you're in that moment, you think it's the end of the world, but like when you think back as an adult, like nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares what college I went to. Nobody cares.
They
how much
people
it costs.
don't even
Nobody
ask me.
Reach.
Yeah, like they don't even ask me like, yo, did you enjoy it? Like they was like, yo, people are gonna want to know about your experience. Nobody cares about my
Nobody
These
cares.
jobs don't care about my
at all.
degree.
They don't even ask to see it.
No, they don't.
They don't care.
Yo, the first job I got out of college, I was like, I have my degree, and they was like, okay, no, that's fine. We saw it, and I was like, no, but I have it, like, but it's here. He was like, no, we just need like your birth certificate. And I was
Listen, my college degree is in the closet, still wrapped up.
me too.
I ain't even take it
my
out.
God.
I had it, like it was mailed to my parents' house, and they
Yeah.
was like, don't you want your degree? And I was like, I guess. And then I just went, I got it framed. And
Yeah,
it's
and I
like,
walked without it. Y'all gave me a fake piece of paper
Yeah.
or the little container that you put it in. I
Yep.
didn't walk with that piece of
I
paper.
graduated twice. They messed up my credits. So like the year they told me to walk, I didn't actually get through.
Wow.
So I didn't get my diploma till a year after I walked.
Sounds
Oh,
like a
wow.
lawsuit.
They told me, they was like, yo, we honestly messed up, and I was like, I'm in here every day asking because I'm like, I'm graduating. They was like, yes. So I was like, well, I already got an offer for a school, and they was like, yeah, we're not supposed to fix it, but we kind of have to. You have been in here all the time. And I was like, I need y'all to triple check. Like, my family don't believe it. I kind of don't believe it. Make sure that it's me. And they told me, yes, so they had to fix it. They substituted, like, a math class for, like, an art class.
oh, yeah.
They had
yeah,
to. There was
yeah.
no way. And I was like, then the next year, they was like, oh, your diploma's ready. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this podcast, go to college at your own
Right.
at your own leisure.
Your own discretion.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I don't want people to not go. Like, I don't know. I feel weird. I feel the ways about it. Like, if I had kids, I probably wouldn't
Yeah.
force them to go to college.
Me
I
neither.
would want them to get like applicable life skills.
That's
and
exactly what I
travel
say.
or
I want,
something,
yeah, I want
and
my
then
kids to
decide after that if they want to go to school for a specialty, then go. Because there's a statistic I came across. It was like there's like 7 million jobs in America that are not filled in because people don't want to do skilled labor anymore. So like
Right.
before, you would have like electricians and plumbers and engineers.
Yeah, like a trade.
Like a trade. People don't. Everybody wants to be white collar, and so you have all of these jobs that are just being. That's why you can move a whole factory to another country because there aren't enough people here who want to do those jobs.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
want
like
my kids
those,
to have a skill.
and they those jobs pay really really well.
Yeah.
They pay
And I
really
think
well.
with even cracking down, the way that they crack down with the school system now and forcing your kid to be in these public schools and their zone schools and stuff, I think that I would just have to do double the work.
Oh yeah,
Just making sure they're getting both at home, you know?
yeah. I never went to my zone school. My mother was like, "We not even playing
me
that
neither.
game."
My family, too.
They neither.
I also
Couldn't
was
do it.
fighting all the time. So they was like, no.
It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
for you to be in that element.
I always wanted to, though.
No, they was like, "We don't want you bringing that back home. We need them to not know where you
Yeah.
live
Right.
at."
Then it was like college for me. It was like going to all the zone schools of New York City. And my mother hated that. She was like, what was the point?
Yeah, everybody goes to Canton.
What was the point?
Yeah.
But I learned a lot, being in that setting of adversity.
I think you learn more in college about being around the people than you do about being in the classes. You learn more about navigating life and different types of people. Like, I joke and say, like, when I went to college, this was my first time being around like regular white people. Because like when you grew up in New York City, you see white people, but they're like Italian American, Polish American. They're like, if their ethnicity is like the top thing about them other than just being white. But when I got to college and I moved into my dorm, I was like, oh, y'all white, like y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crab
Oh, yeah, I
cheese
was
and
in North
macaroni,
Country.
like
I
golden
was like
retriever white.
afraid
Yeah.
to see like, I don't even want to say it on the mic, but it was like, yeah, it was definitely like that.
Yeah.
But you being here, right? I did want to ask because I was when I was checking you out, I was like, yo, she shows so many hats. I wonder how she's gonna introduce herself. How do you decide, like, yo, do I be like, yo, I'm a comedian, I'm an author. Wait, there's more. I be writing. Like, how do you decide what to say? Sometimes you don't have bad time to tell them everything you do.
Yeah, well, for the past 10 years, I would say, no, not really. Even when I first got into comedy, I didn't feel comfortable saying I was a comedian because it was making the transition from being a journalist, a serious journalist, and the story is not about you, and you're not like, I didn't come up in the mentality of like writing yourself into your story. That was a very blogger thing, and so journalists at the time was like, we would never say me and Rihanna sitting at, it would be like Rihanna sitting at, we would never put ourselves in a story. And so to go from being not about you to then in comedy it's all about you felt very weird. And I felt corny. I felt like people were looking at her like, yo, why are you trying to tell jokes? You were a journalist. Like, nobody want to hear you want to say. So I just was always be like, oh yeah, I do comedy. And then a comic who's been doing it for a long time, I was like, when you stop saying I do comedy and you start saying I'm a comedian, then you'll have complete ownership of what it is that you're doing. So that took me like 3 or 4 years to do after I started comedy. And then now I just say I'm a comedian. I can say it now knowing that people's response may be like, oh, wow, tell me a joke, or like, you funny, to like, like whatever it is, I can handle that now. It doesn't hurt me to be like, oh, yeah. So like, I just say I'm a comedian. Now I say author because I have a book coming out. But
absolutely. So when you decided, okay, I'm about to get into comedy, how does one prepare to jump into comedy?
It's really easy in the sense that there's nothing you have to do but just show up, because there's open mics all over the city. So it's like comedy is one of the rarest like art forms where you can just show up and just say, I'm doing this. And people go, okay. And then you just get on stage and either you bomb or you're kind of funny. There's no test. There's no waiting period. Like, if you're an athlete, you got to train and then you go to a game. Like, you don't just show up to the game. But with comedy, it's like you just show up to an open mic, you put your name on the list, you get on the stage and you tell whatever jokes you think you have, and they probably won't laugh, and then maybe you come back the next week, and that's it. But at that moment, you can say, I'm a comedian. Nobody's going to be like, let me see your resume. Nobody's checking.
I found it interesting, though, that you did mention that it's all about you when you're a comedian, because watching stuff like The Nutty Professor, where Dave Chappelle, he's on stage and he's like making fun of people in the audience. Yeah. That was like a core thing for comedians, like coming up, like watching that. So how does it turn into now when I see a lot of comedians play on themselves? Yeah,
it's because you can't, first of all, not every audience will allow you to shit on them like that. That's number one. So you gotta really be careful. And also it's like also working like the urban rooms versus the mainstream rooms. Like white audiences aren't gonna let you roast them for no 20 minutes. It's like that's not gonna happen. They'll get their feelings hurt, they'll write a Yelp review, and then it's a whole big thing. But you have to kind of know the audience, but also it's like about what you want to accomplish. When I say it's about you, it's like I'm getting on stage and I'm going to talk about X, Y, and Z, and I don't give a fuck if y'all like it or not, but I know how to make it funny, So that's where you get into the point of like people talking about traumatic things, and then people like, oh wow, that's fucked up, but it was funny, So I never really try to be the type to like attack people in the audience. One, because when I attack, I really attack. Like I get like venomous. It's not fun. Like I just go hard, and then people get their feelings hurt, and so I try not to. I got to be mindful of that, but. I never want to make people feel bad at a show, but I definitely want them to like think about things that they hadn't thought about before. And I think I can talk about my experiences, and most people kind of could relate to it. Or if they don't, they appreciate that I, made it funny.
That's dope.
You know what she reminded me of just now? Like laughing at traumatic experiences. She liked to tell people that I be doing that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you said it. Like that's late.
Sometimes it just be funny. Yeah. Not in the moment, though.
And I feel bad because it's like she'll tell me something and it's like, yo, that's jokes. Yeah. That's hilarious. And she's like, but I'm serious, Noah. Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I
just be talking.
Yeah, because humor is the best way to deflect trauma.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So like,
and people feel that. It's energy. Literally. Wow. It's energy.
Because it's uncomfortable for you to tell this experience. And so like in my book, I talk about like traumatic experiences, but I do it in a funny way to help me cope with it. And then I've had people now, because it's starting to go out. The name of my book is Fuck Your Diet, because I just said book and nobody knows what I'm talking about. But the name of my book is called Fuck Your Diet. It comes out January 7th from Simon & Schuster. And it's a collection of essays about my experience with body image and weight. And so I was bullied traumatically as a kid.
I cannot wait to read it.
Yeah, I was bullied really bad as a kid. But, I do jokes about it now, and it just helps me cope with it. And then also I just started therapy recently because,
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it was one of those things where I was like, I'm going to go to therapy, but when I need it. And I was like, I think I need it. Also, because when you write something like a book and you put all your stuff in it, people can digest it and respond to it in ways that you don't even expect them to. So I need to go to therapy, because I don't want anybody saying crazy shit about my life, and I'm like, oh my God, I took that personally. I need to know where I stand in myself. Right. So I'm definitely like, I support therapy for everybody, but comedy has helped me address a lot of things. Like, I used to be bullied so bad in elementary school. I had chicken bones thrown at me. I got hit with a double Dutch cord. I got bit. Like,
What?
I was, they used to throw my shit in a garbage can. This is like height of the crack epidemic. And I got to go fish through crack vials to get my shit out of the garbage can. Like stuff like that. And you just like, yeah, I went through a lot of stuff, but I'm okay, like, I think it definitely shaped how I live my life and how with things I don't tolerate. Like, I don't try to appease people anymore, because when you get bullied, a lot of times you're like, well, if I just make myself funny or nice, so they'll like me. And it's just like, nah, fuck that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not trying to bend over backwards for anybody. Not in a mean way, but it's just like, I know who I am, and I'm not going to compromise.
Setting boundaries.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think a lot of times when people go through uncomfortable situations in their life, they try to internalize it like, well, what did I do wrong? And at certain points, you got to be like, I really didn't. Like, maybe I did some things wrong, but I didn't do enough to warrant that kind of treatment. Right. And so I think you would just have to figure out a way to just let it roll off your back, because if not, you'll just let it consume you. Like, I dated this guy. He was crazy. But
aren't they all?
Because he was like, okay, put it like this. One time we were sitting on the couch and he was just talking to himself, and I was like, what's the conversation about? And he was like, oh, you ever just like replay something in your mind? And I was like, okay, so what was the scenario? Like, entertain me, because I'm hearing this conversation. I want to know what's it about. He was like, no, it was just like me and a group of friends, we went out to eat, and like, the bill came and it was like some beef over the bill. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, when did this happen? He was like, 5 years ago. And I was like, sir, what? Let that go. What are you talking about? Like, let that go. And sometimes a lot of people really be holding on to stuff.
I be holding on to shit like that. I just went out. Yes, I don't care.
She's told me a couple stories.
Yes,
from years back.
And yes, because I'm not going out with you to eat no more.
And the situation we recently went through.
We recently went out to eat. Yes, and
she gonna tell me this 3 years from now.
I will not go out with them. Every time she say their name, I'll be like, oh, I'll never go out to eat with them. Let me tell you, like, she wasn't there. I don't care. I don't care.
I feel
that
so
specific
bad.
scenario is something.
And
that
it was
is
like
hard
a
for me to
really first, like a first impression type of thing.
These are your friends?
Yep. Go ahead and claim them. They're your friends. They're your friends.
So what happened when the bill came?
A few of them.
When the bill came, some people, they didn't have their glasses. Some motherfuckers
they was looking for them under the table.
Yeah, some people
they was looking for them outside the door.
Like,
some people got frustrated. Was like, hey, I'm just giving all that I got.
Some people like, all of a sudden was like great mathematicians. Like, well, actually, this is what I'm supposed.
Like, I'm split it. How many people at the table?
First of all, in 2020, we not doing that. What I ate was
2020. We not going out. I'm tired.
No,
I'm tired.
2020, you gotta
not going out in groups.
You gotta split it evenly. If you're not adult enough to split it evenly,
don't go.
This is somebody said
then
this to me.
people watching that you had an appetizer.
No,
and a drink, and I had ginger ale.
See what you got the way you got to nip this in the bud. And somebody pointed it out to me, and I never had a problem with it. It's like, if I go out, fine. Like, unless somebody's ordering like $100 worth of food and I got 20, and I'm like, you doing a lot,
dragged it,
or drinks. So, but then my friend was like, you know what, you got to experience it like this. You have to say, you are paying for the experience of us all coming together. We're having good conversation. We're having fun. We're enjoying each other's company. So just chip in evenly, whatever it is. Now, if somebody got a gang of drinks, because drinks are expensive, I'd be like, you got to pay for your drinks. Like,
absolutely. If
everybody,
throw that out there.
Yeah, just like, because I did that once. I threw my mother a birthday party, and I was like, I'm paying for everybody's food, but y'all got your own drinks, because y'all bitches drink. Right. I ain't paying for them drinks. And it was like, oh, that's great. And that's what it is. But like, if you go out in a group, listen, 2020, stop being corny. Just split that bill
and it was the
evenly.
People who curated it too, so it's kind of like,
that was my thing. Y'all invited me to come out, and then all of a sudden couldn't see the prices.
What was it, like an expensive restaurant?
I would say
a seafood spot. It was like
seafood spot.
It wasn't super pricey.
So like 40 a person.
Yes,
like 60 a person.
60.
But some people didn't want to spend that because
they should not have come.
That's what I'm saying.
Or curated it.
Yes.
Oh,
they put it together.
They put it together.
Yeah, you should you should talk to your friends.
You should.
And tell them.
And let them know I'm never going out to eat with them.
Word.
I'm good.
There's a few of them that I have built a bond with. They're coworkers.
Oh, okay. But that's not real friends.
Right.
Listen, let me tell you.
Once you leave that job, you're never talking to them again. unless
never
it's on
eaten with them
Facebook.
again.
You know, to be honest with you, I don't even really do those politics in the first place, which was why I was kind of disappointed, was because, you know, I don't even really mix my personal life with my work life. You know, we cool at work, cool, but going out, it's a stretch.
Yeah.
And I went. And then you guys wanted me to bring Lee.
But you see now the thing is, the good thing is that you can just walk away from the situation and it'll never replay itself because it was your friendship is in the confines of work.
And they trying to go out again, and I'm like, it ain't been happening.
The first thing I said was, make sure you tell them that I cannot make it. I will not be there. No.
Then her cousin came too, so it was like
we met.
And
my
she
cousin
was
and
a little
like,
embarrassed, and she was like, you know what, I'm tired. Like, here's the money, and I'm like, you ain't throwing like almost $200 on a bill.
Yes.
You bugging out.
Wow.
It's time to go.
Let's say we were done eating at like 5:00. We probably didn't get up from the table, paid and all, till 5:45.
Wow.
They sat there for that long disputing who had what, who's putting. I was like, yo, listen.
One of my other coworkers went to go get more money out the cash machine because she was just like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Wow,
And we're born on the same day, so I was like, I knew what type of time she was on, but I'm very like neutral in certain spaces, just being sound. And one, I was just like, listen, I'm not adding all her strength that she got in her body, her little tiny body. I let her do all of that. So yeah, you learn.
I would have reported them to HR the next day.
You know what I'm saying? What is this?
You learn.
Son, I was tight. But that was the specific scenarios that I can't let go. But I need to.
You gotta let that go. You have to let that go because it'll just eat away at you. Like if I put like this, when I wrote my book and I had to go back and think about all the things. So I bring up my childhood because basically I'm connecting my personal experiences with like the food industry in this country. And so when you're a fat kid growing up, it's so easy to be like, stop eating this, blah 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 blah. But it's like I don't cook the food.
Y'all feed me.
I don't want lima beans and chitlins.
That's a fact.
Like
pig feet.
And y'all telling me I
neck
gotta
bones.
I gotta eat it, all of it.
Nana giving you seconds.
I can't get up until I eat all my food. You gave me a whole grown nigga's portion, and I'm 5.
That's what I say. I say this all
Yo,
the time.
You know, so yeah, but then you think about it and you're just like, well, now I got to deal with this because if I don't eat this, I'm going to get in trouble and I don't want to get in trouble. So I got to eat all this food. I don't want to eat all this food. So now you overeat. So then you
like it. Then you like to overeat.
Then you stretch your stomach out and now your body, you know, because we don't realize how in tune our body is to like our organs. So if you stretch your body, your stomach out, they're like, okay, this is the new full.
Right. Yeah.
So I got to repeat this in order to feel full again until you let your stomach shrink back down. So I'm thinking about like talking about when I'm a child. And then the whole thing is like the starving kids in Africa. So now I got to eat for the niggas in Africa that's starving.
Facts. I used to be tight that it was niggas in Africa that wasn't.
You don't eat the food on your plate. This kid's starving in Africa. Why you always got to bring up the kids in
I will
Africa?
never forget the day my cousin did that shit to me over a waffle. It was half a waffle, son. And I was running late. And she was like, kids in Africa wish they had half a waffle. Sit your ass down.
Yeah.
And you just stuffing yourself.
So I was upset.
I can't wait to read your book and let it be some sort of therapy for me because, you know, I can't afford therapy right now. So, and then, I try to find other outlets to kind of help my healing process.
I appreciate that. I mean, I wrote it because it's like when I started really thinking about it, it's like, I think there's certain things that I can control, and especially now as an adult because I can buy my own groceries, I cook my own food. But when you aren't doing all that stuff, or when you don't have the income to do those things, you know, I talk about food swamps and food deserts. Like most Americans, even though we're a first world country, people live in food swamps and deserts. So a desert means you have to travel over a mile to get to a supermarket, and then a swamp means fast food companies know that you don't have any good food options, so they come in and they put all of their fast food restaurants up. So now you going to get a $5 meal because you can't get a car to go to a supermarket and buy groceries. So it's like all of these things that play a role in how we eat. And I think it's really unfair to just tell a heavy set or a fat person, oh, just do X, Y, and Z. It's like there's so many things that come into play when it's like being healthy or working out or going to the gym or having money for a membership. It's like so many things that people don't even understand about food because it's just not taught to us. So I wrote this book because I was like just thinking about all the things that I've been on a diet since I was like 9. You know what I mean? My mother
now I'm trying to say it's to live it because a diet, you know.
Yeah, but no, my mother put me on a diet. She was like, you're big.
And you know what's crazy is that you mentioned childhood.
I'm so sorry. No,
because my dad
auntie
was
Cat
like
did that shit to me,
yeah.
son.
And I
Yeah.
think that a lot
I was
of
like, I'm getting chunky. She
especially
said, no, you
black,
fat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody told me I was
especially
fat.
black children.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would come home crying because of the kids teasing me at school. My dad was like, well, you fat. That's what it is. I mean, if they calling you that, that's why else, you know,
Yeah.
do something about it. And it's like, I'm 10. Where am I going? How am I going to the gym?
Yeah.
Who's taking me? I can't get there by myself.
First of all, we
like,
didn't have a gym.
what?
We didn't have a gym, and it was like go outside and play, and it's like yeah, but they shooting outside.
Right.
But
So
they
where
wouldn't
was
even
the
let
And
me
I
go
was in dance
outside.
class, but I'm like, listen, my grandmother, when I go down to Harlem, is feeding me. And it's funny because they had different cycles in their relationship where he didn't like that. He didn't like me going to my grandmother's house and being able to have access to certain things because
Yeah.
at home, juice was cut off at a certain time in my house. And then I would get caught sneaking in the fridge to drink juice because at my Nana's house, it wasn't
Yeah.
a thing. I can have whatever I want. Nana gave me whatever I wanted. You hungry? You want some more, baby? She did it to her husband. She did it to her child. She did it to her grandchild. It was different. So you're literally living two different lives. And I was raised with my grandmother kind of being like super mom.
Yeah.
My mom is my mother and she's respected as that. But we're also like sisters in
Yeah.
a sense. And we're both the only children. So it's just a cycle of the same thing and that I see in different ways, even with kids who have siblings. Like, it's just crazy. Like, what is the expectation as a child to lose weight?
Yeah, there is a great expectation, but it's not realistic because you can't grow up in a Black American family like I did, where the cuisine is Southern and expect to lose weight.
Right.
There's just no way possible. There's no
They
way.
put it all on you, but
Yeah.
then give you all the tools to not
Right.
lose
And then
weight.
y'all
Yeah.
make so much food.
Yeah.
I've never been in a home, even amongst friends, where it's like, this is exactly what we're eating for the night. This is your portion, and everybody got the same amount, and the food is done.
No.
My mom kind of cooks like that.
Yeah.
But most of my elders in my family and where I come from, the cultures that I come from, they eat in abundance. A lot of rice, a lot of pasta,
Yeah.
a lot of protein, a lot of a lot
Yeah.
of food.
I don't know what is what. We just ate a lot of junk. We just did.
That was the funny thing. My mother didn't let me go to fast food restaurants, but then I would go to my grandmother's house and it'd be like a whole pork chop and like a mound of rice. And then it's just like hearty food that's like,
Yeah.
it's technically not fast food.
Fast food,
but it's high in calories.
And fatty.
Yo, not for nothing. When I was checking you out, I think just the term "fuck your diet,"
Yeah.
it was just like, yo, I don't even care what she's about to say. This shit is for real. Like, cause like diets, they come, they go, then they change, then it's not working for you no more. Then you gotta find a new one. I was like, yo, this describes how I feel towards diets
Yeah.
very well. But
Yeah.
then when I started finding out more about you and stuff, and I was like, this is perfect. Like, cause it's like it's a hearty phrase, and yeah, it's kind of comical, but it just represents so much that is so close to home.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, oh, this is cool. But when you're doing like press for this, I always wondered, like, because you're a comedian, like, how do you tie the two together?
Yeah.
It's funny because you mentioned it that and I was gonna ask you that too. Get out of my head, like, stop it, please, because you did mention how you're gonna do stand up
Yeah.
to do press for the book, and I think that's so interesting. Was
fire.
that natural or was it like a strategic
Yeah,
move?
it was. So it's twofold. So my book tour starts January 6th. I'll be in Chicago at Zanies, and then New York, and then I go to DC, Philly,
yes.
Boston, LA, San Francisco.
Black women making moves.
Yeah,
That's right.
And so the thing about it was I knew that so it was very important to me, even though this book has been my baby for the past 2 years. I'm so excited that it's coming out. But it's also equally important that people who meet me for the first time through my book know that I'm a for real stand-up comedian. Because I think a lot of times you hear like, oh, this person's a comedian. It's like, it's Tina Fey. And it's like, she's not a stand-up. Like,
Right.
she's a comedic actress.
Okay.
But like when I see
Right.
lists and they're like the top 10 comedians and it's like actress, one stand-up. Like, it's
I really like Tina Fey's acting.
No, I know.
What the fuck does she know about stand-up?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, I want people to know, like, when I say I'm a comedian, like, I'm a for real stand-up comedian.
Any
And
given
so,
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's why I was like, okay, I want to do my book events, but I want to do them at comedy clubs. So I'm going to do a show where they get to see me perform, and at the end, I'll talk about the book and maybe like open up for questions. And then the book is also available to be bought there too. So it's like you got 3 options to like, take me home with you, like comedically, book wise, like conversations.
Yeah.
Just so people get like a full experience, because a lot of these places that I'm going to, I haven't been before as in a headlining capacity. I've been there, like done a spot here or there, but like this is like my own show where people get to see me for a longer time. So I just wanted to like give them the full gambit, because I think, it's not often that you get to meet people for the first time on your terms. So
I have a bookmark, and that's something my friend created that I grew up with from when I was 5 years old. She'll like bookmark something and pin something in a conversation that she'll bring up later. But I want to talk about it off air because it's an idea that I have that I don't want everybody to know yet.
So why the fuck did you bring it up on air?
Because I want her to know
remember
that I have an idea, and it's for you. You know, you don't just putting it on the table. And you could just, we'll chop it up about that.
Shoot, Noelle. I like that. Give me some. Hurry up. Because, it's not available for long.
I'm trying this new thing where, and Lee called me a conceptualist, because I just have a bunch of ideas when businesses, because you're a business, you're a walking business, just come to me and like having these conversations on the podcast or in my personal life, just networking and stuff. But you're awesome, so I definitely want to share this one that I thought of. So I'm going to bookmark that.
Appreciate it. We need more conceptualists.
Oh, well,
see, listen,
that's funny. Hey,
listen, let me say something. That's what Andy Warhol was. Andy Warhol didn't do 90% of the artwork that he gets credited for. He just told people
what to do.
He had a big ass place, lots of drugs, good music,
lots of drugs,
celebrities, and he was like, "Yo, I think I want just Campbell's soup can to look like this," and somebody did it, and then he put his name on it.
Yeah, that was the thing for real. And you know where I got that from? I actually used that for myself because I got my friends together one day and we had like an artistic meeting, and it was a show that I wanted to put on for like, my friends, like an art exhibit, but it had like a music break and stuff. And 2 of the people that were at the meeting were like, yo, we like it. Like, let's do it. So we all got together in a group email. And the next day after the meeting, the same 2 people that were like, yo, we know how we could push this through. We're like, hey, we don't want to do it anymore. And then one of them put the show on herself.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, shit, look at me having great concepts.
Wow, yeah.
Must be a conceptualist.
Did you go to the show and
but that was kind of like,
nah, I didn't even go.
I don't think that was,
now
positive things came out of it, but I think that the process of that was kind of like shady.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I just needed it had to happen for me. It had to happen for me to realize, okay,
I have good ideas.
And you can't share things with everyone.
Yeah,
even though I'll be wanting to, because I just feel like I have the clip. Like I have so many ideas, it doesn't even matter. But like I guess some of them you just have to hold.
Was
tight.
the show well received?
I don't even know. I never checked it out or anything. I never asked. I truly was on to the next idea.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, at night sometimes I would be a little angry. But I'm not gonna lie. I was a little angry, but I was just like, yo, I know that you didn't do it the way I could
Absolutely.
do it. So I was just on to the next, and then I don't know, after a while I just didn't care.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's weird. And then that same person actually like added me on LinkedIn, and then I was like, oh, we don't even talk. Okay, cool. You need to see this glow. It's weird. Speaking of LinkedIn, do you use your LinkedIn often?
No, I don't.
I'm trying to now, but the same manager who hired me at the Museum of Sex and always used to flirt with me, fuck that. I'm going to tell her. I don't care. Because I'm letting shit go.
I feel like it's part of the job if it's a Museum of Sex, though. You can't even be mad.
Yo, that motherfucker hired me. Like, you have a beautiful smile. I think you're great. Hired me, trained me to be like a manager, then hired somebody to take the job that he trained me for and was like, well, I never put it on paper, so you had to know that there was a chance that, it wouldn't go through. Then set me up, got me fired, great payout, and I was moving to London anyway, so I didn't really care. He just added me on LinkedIn, too. That motherfucker's going to sit there. The other girl, you need to see this.
People forget that they did you wrong.
And I'm confused as to how.
Yeah.
Because they probably just see what you're doing, okay? And then come popping back around.
That's true.
When you're moving along. And you mentioned this in your podcast, too, because you have a podcast as well called Social Misfit. I was just moving
into that. Yeah. Good job, Noelle.
And your latest episode, you were talking about guys doing this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
The irony. So it doesn't even have to be a romantical person in your life, but just men just have a tendency to just pull these strings and do that. Like,
Yeah.
see you moving on and see you glowing in your work and your stance and your powers, and then just try to pop in like nothing happened.
Damn,
like, I remember.
son. It can't just be men and the person that I used to be, because you're explaining me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. Just pop my head in real quick.
So what made you change? How did you stop being that person?
You know what? I'm trying to figure out. It just was a time where I just was like, yo, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even somebody that I was happy to be. So it was just like, enough is enough. Like, it was one of those, like, come on now.
And it's crazy because I was really going to just put this on males, and I was going to ask you, Chloe, like, have you been in these situations? Because I hear a lot of women talk about this in romantic situations or even in work settings, like we mentioned. But you bringing up a woman's perspective of you doing this is ironic.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I can definitely point shit out when I know. And I know.
You just creep back in, you just be feeling it.
Son, it's a different glow when they move on from you and you realize you was the dark cloud. It's a different glow. And then you pop your head in because, like, I need some light. It's dark over here. You know what I'm saying? I need some light. I did. I've done those things.
But I think the interesting thing is, like, in your situation, women are introspective and they hold themselves accountable, I think, a little bit more than men do, because men can get over on not having to change their behavior because they'll always have another male friend who's like, nah, you ain't got to change. Fuck them bitches. Like, and then they're like, okay, I guess. And then there's also a woman that's like, well, hopefully I'll get him to change for me. And then he'll just, like, use and abuse her and then get her tired and fed up. And then she leaves him. And it's just like, oh, I'll find another. I'm a good catch. Right. So as long as they think that they're a good catch, then they don't really have to change their behavior. And it's like, no, but you need to change who you are as a person, because internally you're fucked up. Like, you may have a good job and you may have money in the bank or a nice place or a car. But, like, at the end of the day, like, who you are, like you said, when you're sitting with yourself, with no distractions, who do you like who you are?
Right.
And I think a lot of people just convince themselves that it's okay, or especially, I've heard so many black men tell me that, oh, yeah, I'm never doing therapy. And it's just like, well, how you think you're going to get all that shit out of your head? Because you're not talking to anybody about it, and you just internalizing it, and then you think therapy's gay. Quote, that's a direct quote. Yeah. Therapy's gay. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I think the best thing for us to do in these situations that we see so much, especially in our black communities with our black men who feel like they can't feel, share their emotions, and get to a growing point. As creatives, because we have a lot of power in creating time, creating spaces, and creating works of art that will help our people progress, we can take the stance in showcasing that therapy is great for our growth and who we are. And then wherever that empowered feeling takes us, the heights that we expect, the accolades we expect to touch, will hopefully in our future generations be a leadership role in getting.
You know how many niggas made fun of me for going to therapy? It became like a running thing. Like, we would be in a group chat and they'd be like, don't tell her nothing because you know she's going to tell her therapist.
But what I'm saying is, though, you're not at your highest accolades yet.
This is true.
You're not at your peak of what you're trying to do, what your movement stands for. So I'm talking about, like, this process is going to be ugly. It's not going to be received well. But when you get there, and I mean, it's only still, there's no ceiling to it. There's no ceiling to it.
Yeah.
But where your voice is heard by the masses, I think that's when things will turn around for majority of our people.
And even also just, like, from your immediate circle, when people see you processing things differently or your behavior is different, then they'll be like, oh, how is she so content and happy? I don't think I would be happy if I had to do X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, oh, they just see you, like, living your life, and then they'll, like, when I first started with my personal trainer, everybody was like, why are you spending that much money on a personal trainer? That's why. Just go to the $10 gym, blah, 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 blah. And don't you know, like, in 3 years' time, 4 of my family members go to my trainer and have lost, like, a shit ton of weight. And they're like, now they love them. But it was like they had to see me do that first before they felt like they deserved that treatment. Because a lot of times people don't want to invest in themselves. So they like, why would I pay that much money to somebody?
They'll do the minimum by get the $10 membership and don't go.
Yeah. So it's like, no, take that gamble on yourself, bet on yourself, and see a return on your investment, because this is all you have. Your body and your mind is all you have. Yeah. And so you need to take care of it.
Vessel. Yeah.
You said something about sitting with yourself. A lot of people can't do it. That was when I knew. I don't know. I can't really point out a specific thing that was like you have to change. But I knew when I was like by myself and I was enjoying it more, I knew something was right. Because I never really liked to be alone. I couldn't stand it, actually. And now, but I was always alone anyway, so it was just a miserable thing. And now I enjoy being alone so much that I forget to go be around people.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't really care to.
I mean,
people. Yeah, like I'll be talking to people, but like I'll create a wall. I'll find something else to do while I'm speaking.
pick up your phone.
Okay, Noelle, like read a book. Don't read me. Like read the book. What the fuck?
I do the same thing too. I got yelled at that about like taking my phone out, but it's just like a comfort. It's a comfort thing because I feel because I'm introverted person. Even though I'm a comedian, like just being vulnerable in like group settings just makes me uneasy. Like if I come to a party, I'm probably gonna sit in the corner until I get comfortable or see somebody that I know. But I'm never the type to walk into a party like I'm here, y'all. I would never do that.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. So like even if I'm sitting at a table with folks and like say if we're out to dinner and the conversation's going and it gets like a little lull, I'll just like start reaching for my phone and be like, what's going on?
Right. Let me check.
I'm hearing the conversation, but it's just like that, like just staring at you in your face and just waiting for something else. I'm like,
it's like adult pacifiers.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And so I've been mindful of that to just like if I see myself reaching for my phone, I just like put it in my purse and like zip it up because I want to be present and I want people to know that I'm present, even though I am present when I got my phone in my hand. But I want to give them the courtesy of knowing that they have my undivided attention because I know that people feel like you don't value them if you're not giving them 100%.
Me as people.
Yeah.
Right. But I noticed that, I mean, I'm working on like taking the pacifier out. But like, a motherfucker could be alone so much that people be like, you should come here. And I'd be like, who? There's people there? No.
But see, like I'm an extrovert introvert because I'm very outgoing, very bubbly, very like warm and welcoming. And not to say that an introverted person isn't, but like I just like when we were outside, Lee, before you came, Lee was like, hey, you gonna come in the room? I'm like, no, I kind of want Chloe to be the first person, her seeing me and me walking her into the room and just making sure she's welcomed. That was my thing. Her thing was making sure the room was good and the inside was great. So then I can go into my moments where I love being by myself. So then it's like people don't quite understand that balance that I have because I will definitely like become, I don't want to say aloof because I'm not fully like that, but like to myself and like could be guarded and, closed in under a rock in a shell, so I get both sides of the spectrum. It's just, I feel like some people can have both just flipped. Yeah. Some people can be an introvert, extrovert. Like what comes first when you see them, your first impression of them?
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely an introvert. I'm such an introvert to the point where when people meet me, they think I don't like them. Like I've had people tell me like so many times like, oh, when I first met you, I didn't think you liked me because you just wasn't. And I was like,
how many times you hear people say that shit about me? All the time.
Yeah, and it'll be like my friends who like know me, and people will say, yeah, I don't think Chloe liked me. They'll be like, nah, it's just not about you. It's like she ain't thinking about you. She's just in her own little cocoon. Yeah. Don't take it personal.
But I mean, on the flip side, I've been told that when you meet me, it could be this warm space and then it can turn it cold. So I don't know which I would rather, but I mean it all depends on
I think I'm lukewarm until I get to know you and then it'll be like either I'll stay lukewarm or I'll get like
I'm working on being lukewarm when I meet you.
I'm
just disassociated.
I just have to be. I just treat it like when I meet somebody, just give them that energy burst. Because that's the thing about being an introvert. People don't realize if you're not an introvert, it is emotionally taxing to keep up high energy. Like I hate going to weddings because by the end of the day, I'm exhausted. All that fake smiling, all that. Oh my God, so good. All of that, I want to pass out. I'm so serious.
For real.
It's exhausting. It takes a lot of energy. Like introverts give out energy and we don't really get it back. But extroverts feed off of that energy. And so that's why they're so like chipper and hot. And like, I don't,
Yeah.
I have no
That's
time.
Me, son. I be like, damn, I gotta say hi to these people. I gotta smile. I be in my head like, smile. All right, has been a while since you smiled. Smile. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy hearing that perspective because it's the complete opposite for me.
Yo, somebody meets Noah. Hey, how you doing?
And you be like,
all her teeth are showing. I'm
and you be like,
fuck.
do you know them? Like, I have no idea who they are.
No
I'm
idea.
Like, okay, girl.
I'll be like, where you
And
know
then
that person
getting
from?
to
Just
know the
them?
person is like, ugh,
Well,
I don't even like you.
Yeah,
Shit.
Yeah, comedy's made me brought me out of my shell. Like having to be out and in front of people and go out every night has definitely helped me get over being like because I was an only child. I have a brother, same parents, but we're 15 years apart. So I felt like I was an only child for 15 years. So I still have that mentality of an only child. But it was a lot to get me out of that cocoon, to get me to go out. Like comedy has made me get out of the house a lot of times when I didn't want to get out the house. So it's definitely changed my interactions with people. So I'm more mindful of that when I meet people, to be pleasant. And also now people start to recognize me a little bit. So I'm always cognizant of that. So I always want to just give them a pleasant experience versus, because people say hello to me and in my mind, I think that they like know me in real life. So I'm like, hey, and then I realize I don't know them. And I have to be like, oh, what's up? Hey girl, keep it going. Not in a fucked up way, but it's just like, I don't even think that strangers would recognize me because I think they have to know me because I don't think that I'm that recognizable yet.
Right.
So I really react like, oh, don't I know you from somewhere? And then I don't know them. Like one time I was with my grandmother and my mother, and we were waiting for a car to come pick us up. And this woman walked by us and she tripped like badly, right?
Yeah, she's cracking up because she would have laughed at
Right,
her.
but it was like one of those things like I gotta make sure she okay first before I laugh. And then she turned, she was like, Chloe, you better not put this in a joke. And I was like, okay, girl. And my mother was like, you know how I was like, I have no idea who that woman was. But just like things like that makes me realize that, oh shit, people may know who I am. So I gotta like I want to be as pleasant as possible. And I genuinely want to be pleasant because you a lot of times when you're walking by yourself, you're in your own head and you forget that you're in the world and interacting with other people. So I want to make sure that I snap out of like my head and be very present with people.
Yeah.
So.
And because it's your purpose too. So as you're stepping into, it's like, dang, I can't just be not all about me, because you can really focus on you. It's not selfish to do that. But you just kind of do have to make sure you're kind of well balanced in that.
Yeah, it's important.
And
I'm still catching it. It's hard for me sometimes too.
I was about to say, and you still gonna get the jokes, like, because you just so happy. That shit is crazy, son. That shit is crazy. Like, I don't know what's in the
people
coffee.
Know when I'm
sheesh.
upset, it's the most noticeable thing in the world. And I'm like, what am I doing that? I'm just quiet.
Yeah, you be showing all your teeth and be mad angry and be just like, yo, stop faking this, son. Something's wrong. Like, you just could tell.
My silence is very, like, noticeable because I'm very loud and, like,
so loud.
Yeah, no, I'm
chipper.
But I just want everybody who notices me and all the people that have, first of all, thank you. I appreciate it. Second of all, if you really notice me, that means you've heard about me from something, you've met me, or you listen to the show. You know it's not my brand to be showing all my damn teeth. Like, it's just not my brand.
But it is. She's in pictures
by myself.
She's
exactly. Yeah, and in a picture, I'm going to show my teeth. That is on brand. To be walking down 34th Street.
just cheesing.
Just cheesing.
No.
Everybody like, excuse me, can I get right here? Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Yeah.
That's not my brand. You know that. But it's all love.
Facts.
Thank you so much for coming here. This has been amazing. I told you
have
it was
one
going
more
to be.
question for you,
Go ahead.
though.
Go ahead.
The owl on your neck. What is?
Yes.
What?
You know, I've just gravitated to owls for a really long time, and then I looked it up, and it says that it's like you like to see, you like to watch, and it means
Be
something
observant.
else to be observant and like very, in tune with like what's happening around. So I think, when you allow yourself to naturally gravitate towards certain things, it gives you a meaning that you didn't even know that you were looking for. So I love owls. So
I'm
I
getting an
always
owl
OVO
and
Chloe.
elephant tatted, like a mix of the animals blended together, like on my side. But yeah,
I love owls.
One day.
I'm just kind of scared of the
Do you
needle
have
a
any
little
tattoos?
bit. One.
I don't have
small
any,
one.
but I want a big one. I want a big one on the side of my thigh, so I can
Oh, okay.
thigh around when I turn 40. Like,
Ew, with your shorts on, bathing suit. It has been a pleasure
dope.
talking to you, though.
Thank you. This is
Amazing.
And also, let's tell people how this came about. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Shout out to Racine.
Dr. Ray Ray.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the
my
homie.
girl.
She's been on here 3 times. That's
Yes.
like friends in real life.
Yes.
Did a palette for love recently.
Thank you
too.
so much, Dr. Ray.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I miss you. Tell your mother I miss her.
Tune into her show. Tune into Social Misfit.
Yes.
Tell people where they can find you.
Oh, yes. You can learn all the things about my book at fyourdiet.com. That's the letter F and then diet.com, and has all my tour dates on it. You can order the book on that as well and learn more about me and go to my videos and see my stand-up.
Hey,
Shout
I
out
get
to the
paid tomorrow, so
cover
I'm
art
going to
on the book.
pre-order.
Yes. Oh, also, I have a comedy album coming out, too, because I just don't know how to stop. It's called Big Dick Energy, so that'll be out as well.
Oh, yeah, I did see an
Yeah.
episode. Second to last episode,
Yeah, yeah,
you were
yeah.
talking about that. Yes.
So when you start promoting that, we're going to see you.
Yeah.
BDE.
Yep.
I like that. Remember, guys, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes and comment on the show. Every month, at the end of the month, we're going to pick a comment that we like. We're going to bring that person in to the studio, and you get to record with us.
Nice.
So make sure you DM your proof. You could DM it to Thank Me Later Podcast NYC on Instagram. You know my Instagram at GoodLookingLee Noel.
Or at the Noel K. Shout out to Team Noel K.
Just send us some proof so that way we know who to put these faces on.
But we'll
for
be
these
tuning
comments.
in.
Absolutely.
We love y'all
Just keep
so much.
commenting. We appreciate y'all taking a listen. And y'all know what this is, man. We out of here.